Hugh Jackman is one of Hollywood's biggest stars today, thanks to his years playing Wolverine in the X-Men film franchise. But he wasn't always a grizzled, adamantium-clawed hero. Here's how a lanky Australian teen went from teaching gym class to ripping people to shreds. Teaching PE in England. Hugh Jackman was 8 years old when his mother left and moved to England. A few years later, his two sisters moved there as well, leaving Jackman to grow up in Australia with his father and two older brothers. Jackman admitted that the event left him feeling volatile, with a lot of pent-up anger, which he channeled into sports at the all-boys school he attended. After he graduated, Jackman wound up in England at age 18 and was hired by the prestigious Uppingham School in East Midlands as an assistant housemaster. While he spent a good deal of his time teaching physical education and coaching sports teams, part of his duties also included tutoring freshmen in English and drama. His first leading role. When Jackman's gap year in England ended, he returned to Australia and enrolled in the University of Technology in Sydney as a journalism student, a change in course that would soon prove short-lived. During his final year at university, Jackman needed a few extra credits to graduate. He wound up enrolling in drama because he had heard it was easy to pass. Little did he realize a lead role in his university's production of The Memorandum would put him on a path to pursuing acting professionally. After he graduated in 1991, he enrolled full-time at the Actors Centre in Sydney because, according to him, he didn't have the drive to be a professional journalist. Almost an Aussie soap star. Not long after Jackman signed with power agent Penny Williams in the early 90s, he was offered a role in the popular Australian soap opera Neighbours. The show's long been a launching pad for many future stars, including Kylie Minogue, Russell Crowe, and Chris Hemsworth. It seemed like Jackman's big break had arrived, but he had also recently interviewed for the Western Australia Academy of Performing Arts acting program, leaving him with a dilemma. While the promise of a 2-year contract on a major TV show was pretty alluring, Jackman ultimately turned it down in favor of continuing his drama education for a further 3 years. Jackman loved his time at WAAPA, where he was immersed in all aspects of training from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. every day. Jackman told The Telegraph, "We'd do Shakespeare, then circus skills and singing and dancing. It is a quality that seems to tap into my surname, Jack of all trades." Making his major debut. The same night he finished his last performance at the drama school in 1995, Hugh Jackman got a call offering him a role in an Australian TV crime drama called Corelli. The show centered on a criminal psychologist named Louisa Corelli, who gets sent to a men's prison to work with the inmates and winds up forming a relationship with one, a hardened criminal named Kevin Jones. Jackman was cast as Jones opposite established actress Deborah Lee Furness, and though the series was ultimately a failure, it wound up changing his life. Jackman fell in love with Furness, much to his embarrassment.
I said, I've got a crush on you, Deb, I'll get over it. I'm sorry, it's embarrassing. She goes, because I got a crush on you too. And I was like, right, what?
The couple married a year later in 1996 and are still going strong. A West End star. Thanks to a critically acclaimed performance in an Aussie production of Sunset Boulevard, when it came time to cast a new West End production of the classic musical Oklahoma, producers had only one actor in mind for the role of Cowboy Curly. Despite fumbling the words while singing "Oh What a Beautiful Morning" during his audition, producers were completely enamored with Jackman. Oklahoma was a big hit in London, transforming Jackman into an international star. Reviews of the actor's performance were beyond glowing, and he received an Olivier nomination for Best Actor for his work. The production was filmed for television and aired both in the UK and the US, where American audiences were introduced to the charismatic Jackman for the first time. Joining the X-Men. Fellow Aussie actor Russell Crowe was on a hot streak in Hollywood when Bryan Singer offered him the role of Wolverine in his upcoming film adaptation of the hugely popular X-Men, but the actor turned Singer down, having just finished Academy Award-winning epic Gladiator. Instead, Crowe told Singer to take a look at his longtime friend Hugh Jackman, who was in London doing Oklahoma. Jackman's West End show schedule made the process a little tricky. The actor had to run over between performances for his initial audition, and the X-Men team were a little put off by his appearance. Jackman told the Evening Standard, "They basically said, 'Interesting,' but lose the perm and the Southern cowboy accent. But the audition went well enough they wanted to fly him to America for a second round." Jackman hesitated due to his commitments to Oklahoma. Eventually, they agreed to send him on a Concorde jet to America, where he impressed producers once again. 6 months of radio silence followed. 20th Century Fox execs really wanted Scottish actor Doug Rees-Scott for Wolverine, but the actor was in Australia filming scenes for Mission Impossible 2. Disaster struck when Scott was injured in a motorcycle accident while filming, so with Scott unable to film and production rolling, producers had to find someone else quickly. Jackman was hired last minute, and a superhero was born. Roughly 2 decades later, Jackman has clawed his way to the top of the Hollywood heap. Jackman recalls an opening weekend conversation with his wife, telling her, quote, "I think this is going to change everything." Was he ever right?